Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I decided to take this replay from the front page of drop.sc because I feel that the player that we are going to be following in this replay is actually coming from a bit of an underrepresented region of, I guess you could say, Starcraft players. Of course, you guys will see who I'm talking about in just a moment. Oh, what is this? Ah, here we go. Yes, here it is. PandaTank going up against EmpireKas. And this looks like it's gonna be on the ladder. Alright, so here we go. In the lower right-hand corner, he comes from South Africa, PandaTank. The upper left-hand corner, spawning as our Terran in the blue trunks, his name is Kas. The map we're on today is Korhal Sky Island LE. It's actually a GSL map, and I really need to work out those really. I did actually, well, I guess this is where I get to the recent news, if you will. It says, great for toss, horrible, lol. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit Control C because honestly, I don't want to be too distracted by the dialogue. It is a little bit distracting. But let's get back to recent events, I guess you could say, and then I'll talk about the map. Last night I was allowed to call the Chanman show, and they happened to have HoTS in, and I was really honored to talk to him. I mean, it's not every day you actually talk to someone who's famous in the realm of Starcraft, unless you live in California, because that's where a lot of esports events are held, or maybe even New York, because that's where the present MLG studio is. You could actually run across, I think, Axel Toss over there. But it was really nice having a conversation with HoTS and taking his counsel and so on and so forth. I asked him, okay, so what should I do if I want to be the designated English caster for the China scene? Because I know there's a lot of great competitors there. There's about 10 or so that I want to say are equal to GSL competitors, at least Code A we're talking about. The reason why they don't go to GSL, and I know you guys are about to ask that question, is because it's very difficult for a Chinese person to get outside of the country with immigration and so on and so forth without valid reason. There has to be some kind of a special invitation letter. So basically a good, and also this year is especially difficult because no one really actually wants to go to the GSL because it's actually WCS Korea, and once you go to the GSL you're basically competing in WCS, and that is possibly the most aggressive place to compete. That's probably why we see no foreigners there this year around, because it's hard enough for the Koreans to compete on their own ground. So why would a foreigner want to do that unless maybe you're, say, Liquid Genro, now retired, or possibly Stefano. Stefano actually pulled out of Korea, so yeah. It was a little bit difficult for him. I'm not sure if he didn't really like being in Korea or if he just simply wanted to focus on foreign tournament. He did say, it was announced basically when he pulled out, he didn't want to focus on the GSL so much. It was a good notion. It was a good strike of pride for the guy, for the French-speaking player, former Millennium member as well. But of course, you know, decisions are decisions. But again, that's not to say no Chinese players have ever been to the GSL before. There's actually been 3 competitors that I know of from China, not American at all, not American-born Chinese, not second-generation Americans that are Chinese, not third-generation, so on and so forth, but rather just straight-up invited to GSL. I'm talking about Maxed, Loner, and Shigua. Now, Maxed and Shigua belong to Invictus Gaming. I have their coach on my Skype. And I also have WE Loner on Skype as well. But my understanding is, I heard this, and I'm not entirely sure if it's true or not, but WE basically ended up disbanding their RTS roster. I would not be surprised to hear that whatsoever, simply given the fact that, I mean, this year's WCS was a huge blow to China. It really was. And the one thing that really didn't help was the fact that, you know, basically, how do I say this? Heart of the Storm hasn't been released yet in China. That's not a... It's not really a detriment how do I say this? Okay, yes, it is a detriment to esports, but of course, it's not, say, a communism thing. Okay, politics is possibly the last reason to blame for it, because there's this saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. But then again, I also like to say that Rome was its own undoing. Double sentries here, just watching the ramp very carefully. Interesting use of the map by both players. I should probably focus a little bit more on gameplay, but once I get done with this monologue, I guess I'll just focus more on that. And in other news today, I'm actually confirmed to go to Korea. So that means I will be going. And while I'm there, I'm hoping I will be able to actually go to Shanghai, since it is, of course, cheaper to hire me and send me to a tournament in Shanghai once I'm in Korea than it would be to, say, directly fly me out from the USA. $2,200? Yeah, that's not quite worth $300 US. I'm not HoTS. Yeah, I'm not tasteless. Can't be the plot, guys. Can't be tastosis. Nah, can't do that. Now, of course, I am going to try and focus on the game. Let's get back to that. One thing that I want to go ahead and note is that PandaTank's opener does seem to have a bit of a dangerous connotation to it, going for 2 base, 3 gates, double forge, double upgrades. The biggest danger that we will see for PandaTank in the near future is essentially being able to keep up with his opponent's production, because we can already see that simple marine count EmpireKas has a larger marine count, a larger force altogether. And I'm thinking he could end up using this for some, that's what I'm looking for, some drop play, some split drop play. The starport did just finish up, and now there are 2 medevacs in production, the first 2 in the game. An armory going down behind this, and an engineering bay. So the one thing that we will see working in favor of PandaTank is his upgrades. Means he's going to have Spartan Zealots, if you will. The question is, will those Spartan Zealots be able to hold off against this drop? That's, you know, real danger that we must highlight here, especially given the fact that, you know, well, we do have a forward observer patrolling back and forth here. I like this. Now, if he does catch on to it, there are going to be some stalkers and sentries moving into that, and it looks like this drop is at least thwarted for the moment. So what will Kos do? It looks like he's going to try and make something happen in the way of economic damage. It's kind of interesting to note that he didn't really go for a 1-1-1, and now we see Twilight Council finishing up for PandaTank behind this. The question is, will it be Blink Stalkers or Zealot Legs? I'm more leaning towards Blink Stalkers, simply given the fact that he's going to be forced to turtle for a while, especially given that his opponent's going to be taking a third expo soon, and he's going to have to do something to keep all 3 of his bases safe against his opponent. Now, Stalkers are here in position, getting ready to intercept this, and ooh boy, that was kind of big. But now Kos is actually alerted to the fact that he's actually got very little over here. There's only 4 sentries there, but now Colossus joins the fray. So even if some Marines do drop here, it looks like he will be able to thwart it. I gotta say, this EmpireKas, you know, he's trying to give him the good old 1-2-1-2 with double medevac drops. The biggest problem is, like, imagine for a minute if he was to lose all 4 of these medevacs, he would suddenly be, I don't know, let's say 30 supply down on PandaTank, and PandaTank would be ahead in upgrades. That would be actually pretty huge, especially given the fact that we only now see infantry weapons level 2 getting underway. Armor is yet to be researched, but of course with the forges getting their chrono boost out on double upgrades for PandaTank, his +2/+2 will easily be done and ready to go sooner than that of EmpireKas's. Now both players, again, just taking it into the macro phase. Both players also looking for positions to poke, you know, get some damage done here and there. It looks like these medevacs are, I'm not sure what they're doing over here, but anywho. Blink is now about 90% done, 80% done. Extended Thermal Lance, 70-ish, and there are more Colossi being added to the mix. Now we see 3rd Nexus on the way for PandaTank, but of course that's going to be done a significant time behind EmpireKas as well. The one thing that I do want to highlight, this is my own power ranking right now. 1, Korea, 2, Slavic regions of Europe, CIS states, and Kos is certainly an example of that. 3 China, 4 Europe, and then 5 North America, and 6 is whatever follows afterwards. No bashing on Australia, guys. Moonblade, Pig, you guys are really fine players. And it looks like Kas is moving out now. This is the danger that I was highlighting earlier as well. 103 supply to 82, +2/+2 did just finish up for PandaTank, so he's going to be able to move into this quite comfortably. He's just going to have to make those force fields really, really count. Now, I also need to highlight that there's a drop going down here in the natural, if you will, of PandaTank, and once that photon cannon gets taken down, the photon overcharge has to be dealt with. Some units were warped in underneath that, and it looks like this main army over here is being taken care of just fine. Quite the beautiful move, really. I mean, PandaTank, I never would have thought he had this good management. I want to say region number 6 is going to be South Africa. Alright, so now PandaTank is in a really good position. Just look at his army supply. It actually managed to climb over that of Kas. He's not at +3/+3. He hasn't even gotten them started yet. He could get that done, but at the same time, I don't know, he's delaying for something. I think this was a 2-2 timing attack, that's what it was looking like. He did kind of move out into that army, but of course he also had an observer here to catch on to that. Refinery here gets destroyed, and now we actually see just a teeny bit of economic damage being done. Sentries going forward. This Colossi cut out in the open is going to be taken down. The Zealots here do not have charge, so they're going to be slowed down just a little bit, but overall this engagement is strongly favoring PandaTank. The question is, what is Kas going to do to make up for the losses that he's sustaining here? Because it's more than just his army. He's losing a lot of workers. You see, I mean, that's 20 right there. I mean, sure, he's got mules. I think he's where he should be, I think, semi-ideally. But at the same time, we see PandaTank, I think, opting to pull back just a little bit, playing it a little safe. He's getting +3 armor, +3 attack, and Zealot legs behind us. Okay, so Stalker here. Wall of Zealots moving forward in. It looks like we have Kas not willing to give any ground to this. He's got Vikings out, but that's not enough for the current Colossus count that we have now. Marauders, I think, will be more than aptly able to deal with these Stalkers. It looks like no, actually, because oh man, wow, those Colossi took them out. But once the Stalkers are all gone, that's going to mean a lot of trouble for the Colossi here, because even just Marauders are capable of doing lots of damage to them. They get a buff versus anything armored. So we got one really red HP PandaTank Colossi moving back. And it looks like EmpireKas is just going to sit here and chill for the time being. His natural's going dry, interestingly enough, so is his main. He's going to have to take a 4th base really soon, and it looks like we had PandaTank's probe moving into position to catch on to that. Now, what on earth is going to happen here? I mean, what can Kas do to buy himself back in this game? He's got +3 attacks already. Those have been finished for a while. But of course, +3 armor is not so far behind. Sorry about that. The army supply right now. For Kas, again, a little bit higher, but of course the upgrades are going to, in scaling this, favor PandaTank for the next few seconds, next window, actually the next almost 2 minutes in game time, if you will. Minute 40 seconds. And now we have both players pulling away, macroing up. I think perhaps PandaTank thought that he lost more than he actually did. He actually inflicted a lot of economic damage. But then again, he is also aware of the fact that Terran is right where he should be. Even with that economic damage that he inflicted, I mean, really, the mules make up for the discrepancy. But at the same time, again, we need to see Kas taking a 4th, because the natural are going to get mined out extremely fast. This natural is already on 3 mineral patches. He's already fully saturated on the 3rd. And now Kas, 171 supply, is getting ready to move out, while PandaTank is building on more infrastructure. And that's going to supplement his 4th base really well. Okay, so here we go. It's like an Archon. Ooh, jeez. Nexus. Photon Overcharge gets activated. Time Warp goes down as well, but now there's so many Vikings here that they can easily shoot down these lower health Colossi. One Viking left. Will it get that Colossus? It does, so now there's only one left, but again, it looks like this engagement is going to slowly but surely favor PandaTank. Blinking forward. Zero Archon, low HP, 3 kills. His charging porting gets taken out, unfortunately, as it would seem. EmpireKas using quite a unique composition. Immortals coming in for PandaTank, interestingly enough, but now it looks like you're going to see PandaTank just pushing back to the third of Kas. Kas is not doing what I said he should be doing, and that is taking a third. I don't want to push blame. I don't want to say he's a bad player, but maybe he sees something in this that we don't. At the same time, he doesn't know that his opponent has a fourth base. That could be actually what is working against him. We actually have PandaTank on 3 base income, while EmpireKas is under the impression that he's only on, say, 2. At this stage, he knows that his opponent's main should be mined out dry. And speaking of dry, his is right next to that, and so is his natural, not that far behind. I don't know, Kas, oh Kas, what can you do, bro? PandaTank gathering up the numbers. Both armies 3-3, but of course, +1 shields is on the way now for our South African Protoss. Lots of Marauders in the mix here. I'm thinking this could actually hurt PandaTank more than it could help. I think, you know, but of course, Kas unnecessarily lifted up his orbital commander. That's actually quite critical. He's going to need all of those workers mining as much as humanly possible. The irony of that is, well, okay, they are human, my bad. Probes, on the other hand, are not going to mine as much as humanly possible. Now we do have a motion sensor going down. I think EmpireKas kind of looking strong there is definitely going to thwart PandaTank for the time being. The one thing that I think is working against Kas right now is the fact that he has Hellbats. Like, he's got shields. The fact that he has Hellbats is not working against him, but hang on. Got a bit of an going here. And Storm's PandaTank is a little bit hesitant to engage here. He knows that the Marauder count is quite high. And the thing that's working so far in advantage for Kas, I want to go back to the Hellbats for just a moment, is they are +1 armor, Vikings are as well, but at the same time, they don't have any attack upgrades. They do make good tanks, yes, but I guess it only works if they have the upgrades necessary to supplement it. Excellent concave here from Kas, just basically chest puffing, if you will. He's like, come at me, bro, come at me. And it looks like we have, again, PandaTank just a little bit hesitant to engage. Meanwhile, the expo that will pronounce the Romance of the Savior's music for Kas is going down. PandaTank, again, a little hesitant to engage. Beautiful scan on top of his main army by Kas. Kas knows exactly what he's up against. The question is, how confident is he engaging this? We do have 1 ghost in the composition. As long as it makes the beautiful EMP that we're going to need from him, he'll be good to go. Meanwhile, we got a Dark Shrine going down behind all of this. If we can see Warp Prisms come in with that, that would be good too. And I think that was a bit of a misclick by PandaTank just now. Killed one of his own zealots. But then again, it could have been just him trying to free up supply. Doesn't work throwing it away against numbers this big anyway. It's not going to kill anything. Guardian Shield activated. PandaTank's actually gearing up for the attack, and Guardian Shield will help him just a little bit. But it looks like the numbers, for the time being, are kind of even in terms of disengagement. Oh wow, these Marauders go up on the high ground. Sniper Colossus, both players neck and neck in this engagement, really. But it looks like Kas is just a little bit behind. He's still got the right composition to take this down, though. This Colossus will fall to the Vikings, unfortunately. And it looks like Kas is now chasing this away with peppering Marines and Marauders, concussive shells, strong unit, right? Scan going down here, and Kas is just making sure he's safe to engage as well. Beautiful that he managed to get that planetary fortress off as well. Never really losing momentum. He's on 2 base income right now, and it may as well be 1.5 now, because look at this. Wow, holy cow. If he actually loses this engagement, this could be game over. Because now we have PandaTank taking this base over here, and there it is. Stalkers now engaging as they can. Clicking back whenever the Hellbats get close, and the 3-3 upgrades are really going to help in dealing out damage on them. But wait, this could be... Oh, no, this won't really buy him back in. There's not really any mining time he's delaying here, but if he can actually get these Marauders and Hellbats down to this base over here, that would be beautiful. He's going to pick up at the last second. Leap forward, takes down one medevac. I don't know if it was full of units or not. And now we actually have some good harassment going down here behind this by PandaTank. He's like, okay, well, gotta buy my way back into this game. 37 workers killed. That means he got 17 with those stalkers, more or less. And this medevac drop, wait, will it get taken down or... Oh, that's actually gonna... They're targeting down an medevac, unfortunately. And there we go. Stalkers get shot. Poor guys. So now, checking this out just a little bit, I want to say EmpireKas is slightly ahead in this, despite losing workers. He does have the ability to make as many mules as he wants, and he's gonna take this upper right base here. I'm gonna say this is certainly one of the more unique maps in the playlist, and it really is. But that is a story for another day, and I'm sure day 9 will talk about it. This is, of course, taken from the popular GSL map, and it looks like presently I want to just observe that right now the gas income is really low for Kas. Most of his reinforcements will be in Marines. Planetary Fortress now under siege here from Kas, and it's looking like these SCVs will not be enough to save it. And not only does he lose the Planetary Fortress, but he lost a good deal of the SCVs on that. So now Kas is kind of forced to punish this by whatever means necessary. This game's going to go back and forth for a while, I think. These two Marauders targeting down a single pylon, and I'm thinking, oh no, wait. They're not going to get it, but this engagement, there's a lot of ghosts here. As long as those EMPs are beautiful, and they are at that! We will probably see Kas maybe prevail in this engagement, considering a good deal of the main forces are going to be out of position for PandaTank. Storm's going down behind this for PandaTank. And it looks like slowly but surely we have Kas kind of prevailing over all of this. Or at least perhaps we see PandaTank perceiving that he is losing this engagement, and as long as he's running away, that's how it's going to work out, guys. These Zealots are not getting into the fight like they should be. Now they're making a great wall of manpower. Storm is going down, hurting the Zealots just a little bit more than Kas's own units. Scan going down here as well. And now we have EmpireKas aware of both bases that PandaTank has right now. I think this is probably going to help Kas. This is probably going to help PandaTank out just a little bit more. We should be able to hold this. I think Marauder count a little bit high. The Vikings have not landed to help out the ground force, and of course DT's coming in as well to help clean up this mess. And now the last reinforcement pylon at this 4th base is going to be taken down. Excuse me, this 5th base, and now the probes are actually under siege. We're going to see this. This is just one of those back and forth games, guys. Like, this is a great probe massacre. Photon overcharge going down, as well as feedbacks on the ghosts, and it looks like slowly but surely that base inevitably falls. Behind this, who's ahead? PandaTank, still, in terms of income. It's plummeting just a little bit, but it looks like, you know, he has a fully mining base. If we were to see Kas do nothing but spam mules at this one, it would be a different story, I'm thinking, but he's kind of a little hesitant to do that. Oh, but wait, if it's one thing that can secure the win for Kas in this game, it would be definitely getting a prevention on this base, if not taking down this one, or all the workers there. There we go, another drop going down over here, and it looks like the positioning of this is beautiful, kind of making a good SimCity. Ouch! One medevac gets picked off, and it already had a good deal of units inside of it. Double cannons going down here. PandaTank eager to thwart any attacks to go down there, but this base now under siege. And PandaTank's main army is nowhere to be seen. This one's gonna fall, guys. Now we have to see him pull probes. He didn't pull them in time, so a good deal of them will be dying here. Bringing the workers killed so far to 63. Excuse me, 24 for Kas. Now like 97, 87 actually total for the entire course of this game. And EmpireKas is trying to make sure that, you know, he's putting salt in the wounds of PandaTank again. This is one of my cliches, if you will. He's trying to make sure that he just can't make any use of that base as it was. Now it's 43 probes to 21 SCVs. This base has been re-secured. And I think we'll see slowly that even though PandaTank lost that base, he's actually got larger income. It's just going to take a while for all those, you know, that Congo line of probes to get here and fix the problem with the income. PandaTank, you know, again, he's ahead in income, so it's all going to come down to this next engagement. It looks like some DTs went down here behind all this. I did miss that. One or two of them did get some kills. You see that? Hold on. That was actually about 3 kills, I want to say. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going from the late game to the late game, and we're gonna. But on low econ, like this, I think we're gonna see these players continue to go with compositions that they are at. Presently, that would mean Colossi, Zealots, High Templar, but versus this many Marauders, you know, just the army counts right now, I think this is what's going to come down to. Cause having less workers, of course, most of that supply is going to constitute his army. The EMPs on those ghosts are really what's going to make the game, and there we go. Cos actually forces PandaTank to back off for a moment. It looks like Cos is going to go down here and again try to snipe his lower left-hand base. Now we have PandaTank desperately trying to chase down this army, but I don't think he can do it. You know, again, you know, the Protoss army just doesn't have stim, guys. Oh, wait, look at that High Templar. Beautiful storm! And now we actually have Cos kind of... I think he's being surrounded here. This is actually going to work out, I think, relatively well for PandaTank. Not the best engagement, but again, it does buy him a little bit more time. 49 army supply to 91 now. I think Cos is in a definitive position. He just has to be able to accurately benchmark that. Scan goes down on top of the main army. We need to see these Templar come forward and throw down their storms. They do. Cos backs off for the while. There's only now one Colossus left in the mix, and that base will survive for the time being, but at the same time, we just don't see EmpireKas. He's on one base income right now to the 2-base income of our Protoss, but our Protoss's income just really can't keep up with his production. He's just, I wouldn't say he's lost so much, but I mean, there's only so much he can do in the near future, and as long as Cos can keep the numbers low for his opponent's main army, he'll be good to go. 3 Archons now entering the composition here, and I don't know if this is going to be able to work it out or not. There's only 1 or 2 ghosts here. Yeah, there's only 1 ghost, so I mean, as long as that he only EMPs 1 unit there, he does EMP it just as... Ouch. Well, forget that. Here we go. Storm's going down, quite beautiful. They're scaring Cos away, actually. PandaTank tried to account for him moving forward, but he didn't. Wait a minute. Ouch. Jeez. Last Colossus in the mix. No Vikings left, or are there? Beautiful storms, but again, it just looks like, ouch! PandaTank is hurting his own army here more with those storms than he is actually Cos. But this is actually kind of good. There's only a couple of EMPs in all of this. I don't know if he's going to be able to do this or not. Beautiful storm on top of that main army from Cos, and now it looks like Cos made the one engagement mistake he couldn't afford to make, and PandaTank is back in the lead here, now taking his third base. His third incoming base, if you will. And I think he'll be able to push this back. It's just that he has to be able to wake up and realize, hey, I'm ahead of this. His army supply is now, for the first time in the past 5 minutes, higher than that of Cos. All those storm mistakes, you know. I'm wondering if he was trying to trick EmpireKas into engaging there and then finally getting those couple of money storms. I don't know, that's something new. Think about it. Like, hey, oopsie, I made a mistake, I stormed my own guys. Why don't you come and kill them, or try? That kind of thing. It's not every day you see something like this, but it is very unique play, but I wouldn't call it a legitimate strategy. I'm sure it was just a mistake. And now these High Templar, if they're caught out of position, which they are not presently, it's okay. We actually do need to see, essentially, Cos try to take a 4th base, at least try to get another base with income. Now, look, speaking of bases, we do have both players, I think, taking this to a base trade scenario. As now, essentially, we see all the income for Cos gone. It was all on that one orbital command. And now he's going to re-land it and try and get some fuels going, but again, I just don't know how long that's going to work out for. Again, we do have PandaTank over here. It's all of his... You know, he's got another base behind him, so I'm not too worried about him losing the base, which is pretty much a given. You will see that happen. And now, Cos knows that this is... He knows this is now all or nothing. Storms from these High Templar back here will essentially shut down this army. If not, the Zealots and the Archons more than enough. Storms going down, stacked one on top of the other. Cos not willing to give up, standing and running away. Now no medevacs left to kill these forces. And he's trapped. He really is. He's got no way out of this, and you should know now that the game is over. I went ahead and turned chat back on. He says, GG, 16 supply to the 121 of PandaTank. Who can really blame him? I think he was doing good for that 5 minute period back around the 30 minute, excuse me, the 30-minute mark where he actually managed to keep PandaTank supply low, even though his income was lower than that of PandaTank. So if you guys liked what you saw here, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.